What's up, guys? It's your girl Phoenix Novell, and this is another Musicians on Gigs episode. This episode is called That One Time I Got Fired.
I know I like to desensitize, but this girl's got you on her mind. Something about your walk, talk, smile so bright, kinda something like my kryptonite. I'm not easy, but I know what I want. It's special, original. So let's have some fun. I'm so ready to die. Your body real close to me. Whole lot of romance. What's your fantasy? You and me tonight. Let's live the dream. You and me tonight. Rock waves. You and me tonight, baby.
Now, I want to say thank you guys for tuning into all of my videos. Thank you guys for supporting my art. Thank you for just checking me out, leaving your comments and making your girl feel special. And hopefully you guys continue to watch my episodes, and hopefully you enjoyed this one. Now, I have been performing internationally for over a decade, and I've only been fired. Now, some gigs have ended earlier for the whole band, but I've been fired once, I can say. I'm proud of that. Hold on one second. This is lopsided. I gotta straighten it out. Sorry. I think it's so lopsided. I can't tell. All right, whatever. This was gonna be. I was working on a gig in Morocco. I think it was Marrakesh. Yes, it was Marrakesh. And this gig was like, it was a big gig. It was really nice. It was a very urban hotspot. We had an epic band, and I was contracted to do 3 months, I believe. Now, right before this gig, I was working in Thailand, and after my Thailand gig finished, I didn't have a visa, so I was just basically waiting for something else to come up because I didn't want to go back to the USA and have to find a place to stay, deal with USA cost of living, and I had no apartment in the States. I was basically staying in Thailand with an apartment there. But after a while, I no longer had a working permit, and my tourist visa was expiring soon, and I needed to do a visa run. So I did a visa run, and I got caught up and got deported. It was a very hard time for me, very trying experience. It was not pretty at all, and I wound up staying at my godfather's place in Jersey for a little while, every single day, just praying to God that somebody would call me and be like, hey, there's a gig. So one day I got that call and I was just so excited. I did not want to do anything but go back to Thailand, but to have the opportunity to go back overseas, I was thinking that eventually at some point I can go back to Thailand, get my clothing, get my crap, and make my way back to I was thinking, sorry, my brain fog. Yeah, I was thinking that, look, if I can just get back overseas and somebody else will, pay the costs and everything, then I could get this gig, make a little bit of money, then get back to Thailand and then find something. I'll just do something. I'll figure out whatever. But I just wanted so bad to be back in Thailand. So I got the call. Actually, I got a message on Facebook from an associate of mine saying, hey, I'm going to be taking a break from this gig. I thought about you because they're looking for a replacement for me. Would you be interested? I'm like, hell yeah. Now, like I said, I had been performing internationally for over a decade. So a lot of people knew me. But, I still like to audition. I still like to go through the ropes and make sure that I am what you're looking for this particular gig. Every gig isn't the same. Some gigs, they're looking for a specific style of singer, style of performer. And if you're not aware of that before you go, it's embarrassing and a waste of money for them if you're not a good fit for their venue. So the associate I was talking about, she put me in contact with the band leader, and he basically just sent me this song list and everything, and I was just like, all right, so what's the process? When did you need me to audition? He was like, oh no, you don't have to audition, you got the job. And I'm sitting there just like super duper excited, ecstatic, so happy, like beyond happy with hearing that, because I mean, you know, I wanted so bad to go back overseas that it was just like, no matter what, I'm going to do this. But of course I wanted to, like I said, make sure that they would be happy with me. But he was just like, no, you got the gig. And I was like, all right, bet. When do I need to get there? Now, I ain't had no money to buy no performance gear. I had just started working a job where I was waitressing, living off tips or whatever. But all of my performance stuff was in Thailand. All of my shit was in Thailand. All of my wigs, all of my makeup. And basically, I was just like scrounging to see if I could get just a little bit of money to go to the Goodwill or somewhere to get some performance clothes. Listen, when I'm telling you, your girl was just in a jam, she was in a jam, but I was so grateful that I was getting the opportunity to go back overseas. Like, I was just like, whatever, I'm gonna get there and make it work. And Marrakesh is not Morocco is not one of those places where you can just walk. It's a Muslim, you know, country. And so you're not going to find the kind of stuff that you can find in Thailand everywhere. You know, there are places where it exists, but they're very few and far in between. So you'll find some places with some skirts or some this and that, but as far as just like full on out performance gear, it just wasn't a thing. So when I finally got there and got my first paycheck, it was just like, you know, I did not look like I'm used to looking, is what I'm trying to say. But I got to the gig, and the first thing that happened was that I needed to lower damn near all of the keys of my songs. I'm like, no. And the thing about this particular band is that they did a lot of medleys. And the medleys, you know, when you do medleys, usually you have to put them in certain keys that are easily to transition from one song to the next. But I was told to basically take over the songs that, you know, I was given a certain song list. And there was a lot of stuff that I knew that I wasn't assigned, that, you know, that I could have done without a problem, but they weren't assigned to me. And so there was a lot of stuff that I was assigned that I just wasn't comfortable performing, or it was just too high for my register. And I'm the kind of person that's like, look, no gig is worth me destroying my voice. No gig is worth me getting on stage and being insecure because I'm not sounding the way that I know I could sound if this was more comfortable for me. And this is why you have to always audition. I don't care who refers you. I don't care how long you've been over here in the game. You need to be very specific and clear with the booking agent, the band leader or client about what's expected of you. You also need to be sure that you can hit those parts, you know. And I think I was doing some, but I wasn't able to do it in full voice. And it's like, you know, again, this is one of those gigs where you can't hide. You're in the front, you got to give it, or they will look at you like, go home. And after a while, like even for me, it was like, you know, when something isn't for you, you know, when you're not what that venue needs, you know, when you're not, it's just everything ain't for everybody. This was one of those particular venues where it's like, I don't personally have one of those powerhouse voices myself. You know, I'm not just like, like, that's not my style. You know, I'm more light and fluffy, and I'll give you those powerhouse moments on the bridge or something like that. I'll give you the dynamics. But I've never been one of those belters that are just kind of in your face with the voice. And this was one of those type of gigs where it was the theater of it all, you know. You had the stage and the band. It was like these were seasoned musicians, and I gotta be honest, Thailand was the only thing on my mind. Like, I was trying to figure out how I could take my off days and literally fly to Thailand just to enjoy Thailand for a minute and then come back. That was the only thing I was thinking about, real talk. So for me, when I finally got probably about 3 weeks into the gig, maybe, my band leader sat me down and was just like, yeah, so we're not gonna keep you, you know. We just feel like this is not the best gig for you, and we have some other options, and so we're just gonna make some changes, and we're gonna let you ride the rest of the month out. And I had no, like, I don't know how he seen my face and what he picked up or read, but I was ecstatic because it was going to be cheaper for them to fly me to Thailand anyway than back to the States. And I was just so thrilled. Like, I was feeling the same exact way about the gig. This was one of those clubs where people could smoke in the club as well. And I'm never for that. I don't smoke, I don't drink, that's not my style. And so smelling it every night was definitely something that bothered me. But like I said, I was going to commit to the contract and do it, but I definitely was not feeling it. So I was like, yes, completely, I understand, no problem. Thank you. And it was, you know, nobody likes to say they got fired. You know, I'm not like bragging about it, because it was definitely, you know, it's not something that I ever wanted to say that a client wasn't happy with, you know, me for the particular gig. But at the same time, I'm grateful that I can say I wasn't happy with the gig as well. I'm not a big fan of Morocco personally. I'm not a big fan of that particular experience for me. The food, it just wasn't my style. It wasn't what I really wanted to do. And yeah, again, when you're in a tight situation, sometimes you're desperate. Sometimes you take what's on offer, and you know it's not really something that you want to do and something that you like, but you got to have integrity. You know, you don't want to be somebody who's like, you know, no, I quit. You know, but that was my one and only experience getting fired from a gig. So if you musicians out there have any experiences where you got fired from a gig, whether it was just cause or not, make sure to share it with me below, and like and comment and subscribe. Okay, thanks for tuning into this Musicians on Gigs episode, and I will see you for the next one. Peace.